Black Prince may be slow, but it gets there eventually.
Let's go!
Hello guys and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be playing on the map Karelia and we'll be playing with Thunderstruck. So we had a previous replay from Thunderstruck, yeah, I believe it was the AMX 30, where he had a huge game in the AMX and I was really glad to review it for the first time. Now we have something a little bit different. It's a lower tier tank, tier 7 British heavy tank. That's the Black Prince, and we'll be demonstrating the downside and the upside with this tank on the map, such as this one. So Thunderstruck is taking the usual route for the heavy tanks, that's the positions on the 0 and 9 line. Well, he is trying to take the position on the 0 and 9 line, but this tank is so slow, it only can get up to 20 kilometers per hour, which is really bad even for a heavy tank. And you have to be really decisive when you want to go somewhere. So when you start pushing one side, you cannot let yourself stay behind and snipe, because the game will pass you if the friendly tanks push, and you really have to get stuck in there and try and fight the enemies off. Now, to fight with the enemies, you're going to use two things that are good about this tank. Well, one thing is really good, that's the armor. You have 154mm of armor on the hull and around 240mm on the turret, which is in the ranges of the tier 10 tanks. So another good thing is a really punchy gun, but it can be lacking in some cases. As you can see here, Thunderstruck is using gold shells on this enemy Oni. It's a tier 7 Japanese tank, and if he was shooting the standard shells, he couldn't penetrate probably on the Oni, because the standard shells have only 175, I believe, millimeters of penetration, which is basically not enough to go through some heavily armored tanks. But if you switch to gold shells, that's the APCR on the Black Prince, you will have around 240mm of penetration, which is well enough to go through the armor of the enemy tanks, but you will not be doing any harm to them. Well, you are going to be doing some harm to them, but it is really small amount, as every shell on this tank, so the premium shell or the regular shell, is going to do only about 150 damage. So you have to be really careful when you are engaging enemy tanks. You can out DPM them, but be really careful when you are fighting not to get flanked and overwhelmed, and basically that DPM is not going to be used to you in that kind of situations. Now we can see that Thunderstruck is playing really aggressively here. As soon as the friendly tanks destroyed the opposition on the hill, he was pushing forward and going for the Oni and the Black Prince on the other side. Now, as you can see, he is putting great shots in the Oni and also in the Black Prince. He is trying to go for the tracking shots on the enemy Black Prince. You can see him aiming really carefully there. Now when he tracks the Black Prince, he adjusts his tank to show only the front of his armor. And as you can see, the enemy Black Prince cannot penetrate the friendly. He is probably using the regular shells, and that doesn't allow him to go through the armor of the Thunderstruck's Black Prince. But as you can see, some of those shells are going straight into the gun and forces the Black Prince on Thunderstruck to reload and use his repair kit to basically repair the damage that has been done by the enemy. Now he's in a really big fight here. He is fighting off with 3 tier 7 tanks. Finally some of them fired the shot on Black Prince, actually that was the shot from the Dickermax, whose last known position is on the, well, let's say K3, K4, J3, and he's shooting on Thunderstruck from there now. He's doing great damage here on Thunder, and he needs to be really careful. He's down to half his HP, and he decides to back off a little bit because he doesn't want to fight two tank destroyers at the same time. Now the game is not going that well for them. He's the only one left here on this side, apart from that artillery that is covering him, and you can see a really bad shot there while he was driving back. He got shot by the T-37. Now he's bouncing the shots from the T-37. That shot which went in was on the side of his cupola, so he is not in a real threat from that T-37 unless he gets flanked or shot in the side. So I was saying that the game was not going very well for them. As you can see, there is more enemy tanks with bigger guns, and the friendlies are defending the cap still, but it is a matter of question if they will be able to. And that was a really nice shot on the armor rack. Really lucky there to take off that T-37. That was really annoying. Now another bounce from that Su-122-44. Now remember, Su has that 175mm gun. That's the standard gun on most of the Russian tanks, and you can see that the Black Prince can take the punishment from that kind of weaponry. So Thunder is playing really nicely here. He is waiting to get unspotted, then goes forward and puts a shot in the enemy tank. Unfortunately that shot went in. He probably hit the side of the Thunderstruck's Black Prince, and that M44 got his back, kills the tank destroyer, but still Thunderstruck is fighting here on this corner, not backing off. He is still fighting with all of the tanks here. He is down to his last two APCR. He could have switched to regular shells for this VK because the VK has only 100mm of armor, but it really doesn't matter now. The artillery is trying to make a shot in him. Fortunately he misses, kills the artillery, and now this side is clear. And unfortunately the enemy artillery kills him. Now the good thing that happened here is that the friendly team managed to defend the other side, and they are pushing in. All that's left to do is kill the enemy artillery and the Dickermax that was sniping on Thunderstruck on this side, so we can expect that the friendly team can go from that side and go into cap and kill them. Now while we are waiting for this game to end, let's take a look back on what has happened here. So even though the tank is really slow, Thunderstruck was able to push on one side and get into a really safe position where he was RT safe, and from where he could fight on the enemy tanks. That tank destroyers that were shooting on him from long range, and the tank destroyer that was in front of him, the 2 or 3 heavy tanks that were in front of him. Despite all of those tanks, Thunderstruck was able to finish them off one by one, use the excellent DPM of the tank and use the armor to fight them off. Unfortunately he got killed at the end. So this is the last kill on the Dickermax. Who will get it? The artillery misses, the Su-122-44 also misses. Now he's going for the flanking shot on the Dickermax. We're just waiting here for the game to end. Really nice move by the Su. He gets the side of the Dickermax, it doesn't allow him to turn, he's pushing still on the tank. Waiting for the Su to put the final shot in the Dickermax. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. As we can see, Thunderstruck had a really nice game here. He got a couple of medals like Bruiser, Demolition Expert, Duelist, Fighter, Fire for Effect, a high caliber medal, and of course the Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. On the team score sheet we can see that he did 4250 damage, 5 kills and over 1583 experience. On detailed report we can see that he fired 41 shots, of which 38 hit the target and 30 penetrated. Now he was also able to block over 5000 damage, 5600 to be exact, but when firing all those premium shells he lost around 34,000 silver. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and you saw what you can do in a tier 7 British heavy tank, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you all for watching. If you didn't like the video, drop a dislike or leave a comment how I can improve the channel. And if you liked the video, hit the like button, share and subscribe for more content, as it really helps me out a lot. And also don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Google Plus to get the new content first, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And if you're wondering what to watch next, hit the little I button in the top right corner and it will lead you to another video. See you guys next time.